Obviously, first Big Five win of the year. Great opportunity to build on momentum of winning 2 games in a row. Had Penn coming in here. They had a war versus St. Joe's. Today was another war. It's what the Big Five is. Our game plan was to try to contain Dingle as much as we could. Thought we did a good job at that. Jonah Charles came off the bench, was on fire. We did a really good job. I thought the last 5 minutes or last 7 minutes of the game, like once we got down 7, I thought we did a really good job of just locking in on the defensive end and rebounding as a team. And hats off to Steve, man. He's a great coach. He has a great team. They've had a really tough schedule leading up to this. I think they'll be a really good team as we head into as they head into Ivy League play. So, hats off to Penn. Proud of our guys. Great momentum. We just got to keep getting better.
All right. Questions for Clifton?
Clifton, what has Anwar Bill's kind of insertion into the lineup meant for you? I know you kind of caught a lot of his assists, in that conference spot tonight. So, what has his, insertion into the starting lineup meant for you?
It's great. He's an aggressive driver. Obviously you got to respect that. He's a great scorer. So it's tough on the defense. Either they have to help off that, or he gets an easy bucket. So that's a great opportunity for me to be right around the basket and clean up.
And down 7, what's the mentality going into the game? I know this overhearing like things like this can't be all over again and stuff like that going into the huddle. So what was going through your guys' mind?
When we were down 7?
Yeah.
We just really needed to lock in on our game plan originally, and we had to, really communicate and fly around and go back to our core values, which is defend and rebound. That was the biggest part.
And Clifton, this has been a very defensive-minded team this season. You're a central part of that. So for you, what is your role like in trying to maintain that defense and keep it strong?
I think my job is to communicate on ball screens, being help. Block shots is one of the things that I can do very well. And now we do 50 switch sometimes, so now going into guards, no threes, and I'll have my help from my guys as well.
You said 50 switch?
Yeah, man-to-man switch, like on ball screens.
How tough was it to guard Moshkovitz when he just seemed to be doing like everything out there?
Going into the game, my job was to really just have a high wall up, and he happened to make shots today. Just emphasize not fouling him was my biggest thing today.
Did you find it easier as the game progressed to guard him? Because I noticed that he was trying to go up and under, do reverse layups. Were you able to pick up on that as the game went along?
Yeah, I knew he wanted to finish away and try to use his body and try to be creative. My biggest thing was not to smack down on him and really just let him score over 6'10".
And then they were shooting like the lights out, in that first half, and then kind of throughout the game. How do you guys kind of, stay within yourself to, take over the game? How do they take it to you?
We made our adjustments because they were getting hot there, and then we just really had to respond. That was it.
And what was the decision to go to the zone late in the game?
Just to throw them off,
Any more questions for Cliff? You got one?
Good job, Cliff.
You want?
Yeah, one.
All right. We'll open up questions for Cliff.
Ashley, coming into today, Penn was struggling, obviously, with their losing streak and whatnot. They were also struggling from beyond the three-point line, and I know that's very specific, but do you try to focus on that, or is it more of a general defensive effort?
It was one of those deals where Dingle was such a significant part of their offense leading into this game. We just felt like, okay, we just can't let him beat us, right? And we knew that those other guys were capable, but just based on certain guys in and out of the lineup, certain guys not necessarily playing to their fullest potential for Penn, you know, we just made the decision going into the game, we want to focus on Dingle. And, you know, I thought, you know, we focused on him. He made 3 bombs where he was guarded, right? So the 3 shots he made in the first half, there was nothing anybody could have done about those. But we let John Charles get going. And then we had to make adjustments. But, you know, he was in a rhythm to start the second half. And that's why we went zone, because we knew he was in a rhythm. Beginning of the second half, they were getting us in scrambles, and we just need to settle our guys down, and I thought that's what the zone did, and I thought it threw them off. I don't think they got the same looks that they were comfortable with earlier in the game before we went zone, and that's why we went zone. So yeah.
In the beginning, when they got off to that or when you guys got off to the hot start, I believe the lead was as large as 15, and like you said, I know you can't pull away from games, from Big 5 games as easy as it may seem. What do you think Penn did during the first media timeout in the first half to like cool you guys down?
They made substitutions, and then Jonah Charles came in and started drilling threes, and then Dingle drilled some threes. So like they just had we had a stretch where we started off hot. They made subs. Dingle hit those 2 extremely tough shots. Charles hits 3 threes, and then Moshkowitz hit a 3. And I think that's like the only 3 he's hit all year. So, you know, it was like a game of runs in the first half, right? Just typical Big 5 ball where, you know, anything can happen, right? The guy that hasn't made a 3 all year is going to make the 3 in this game. The guy that has kind of been struggling from behind the arc comes off the bench, take the dude out the lineup, he comes off the bench, goes off for 18, right? So, you know, it was just typical. It's what you expect out of a Big 5 game. I'm just glad that our guys responded after, you know, losing a 15-point lead, and then to start the second half, getting down 7. The way we responded was awesome, and just couldn't be more proud of our group for just, you know, just being resilient and not holding our heads when we got down.
And Coach, you've been very consistent with your starting 5 this season. So what was behind the decision to swap out Sharif Kenny for Anwar Gill to start this game?
Well, we made that decision last game. So it's been 2 games in a row where we brought, you know, we started Anwar, and you know, one of the reasons why we like having AG in the lineup is because I think he just gives us another playmaker. I think when you can bring Sharif off the bench, now it gives you another scorer, it gives you firepower coming off the bench, and you know, Sharif was the 6th man of the year in the A10, so he's comfortable in that role, right? So we just wanted to try something different. Hopefully, you know, we can continue to grow, and guys can get comfortable with their roles. And you know, I think that's the challenge of the season, right? Things happen, injuries happen. You know, guys go through slumps and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully we can just sort of kind of settle in and just, you know, start to figure out like how good we can be and get our guys more connected.
And you talked about Gill's playmaking ability. 9 assists last game, 7 tonight. I mean, I know he averaged about like 2 last year. So where did that come? Where did that come from?
Just really like a lot of conversations with him, talking to him, trying to get him to understand his value to the team, and how significant his role is for our team. You know, at times like young people hear something different than what you're telling them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling them like, yo man, you could be a playmaker. He was hearing, you don't want me to shoot. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want you to be aggressive. I want you to attack the run, attack the paint. And I also want you to be able to, you know, get your teammates involved as well. And when he plays that way, we're a better team. And he made some huge plays for us, you know, down the stretch. I think a significant part of the first half, he got 2 quick fouls, was in foul trouble. We had to sit him. So, you know, having him on the floor definitely helps, especially when he's playing with a clear mind the right way.
And you talking about the foul trouble, we picked up a 3rd one pretty early in the second half. You kept him in the game. I know he was even walking towards the sideline. Kind of told me he was keeping that. So, what was the decision or rationale behind that?
You know, I just wanted him to stay in the flow of the game. I thought that he was doing a lot of good things for us defensively. you know, offensively, he was doing some good things as well, just getting in the paint. You know, he had a couple easy baskets, and I didn't want to have him sitting too long and then disrupt his rhythm. So I just wanted to keep him out there. I think that's another way for him to just, you know, feel the trust that I have with him, and it paid off for us.
Final question for Coach?
And another Big Five games against, you know, Villanova and Temple, you know, they were tough opponents and it showed, but with this, the Explorers, it really brought out their best in this team. So what do you think that kind of mindset switch was for you guys?
Well, honestly, I mean, I think when we talk about the Big Five, I think we forget how good Villanova is. Like, they're number 16 in the country for a reason. You know, I thought our guys in that game, you know, I think the bright lights, the moment got to us. I thought in the second half, once the game settled down, we played really well in the second half of that game. The Temple game, we could not buy a basket. You know what I mean? It was like a lid was on the rim for us. And again, Temple is a really good team. You know, it's a Big Five game, but Aaron's doing a great job with his team. They're playing great basketball. They're a really good team. So we ran into two really good teams back-to-back nights, and we were still trying to figure ourselves out, right? So I think those two games helped us. I think we're a better team for having played those two games. And then, you know, you get into a situation where we're playing well. I thought Penn, even though they lost some games, are playing well. And then you just run into a game today where it's just another typical Big Five battle. And like I said before, that's a really good Penn team. They're gonna do really well in the Ivy League, and I wish them all the best.